Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we're diving together into Retro Cup of Great League with a lot of action by a triple dragon team. So I think that you are not gonna regret watching this entire video because dragons have no weakness at all in the meta, and of course you need to see what you need to be afraid of. Since both steel types and fairy types are out of the equation, most of the times you're gonna have no other weaknesses other than the ice types. With that said, now let's see the composition of our team, because we're leading with Kingdra, which is not afraid of ice types at all, especially when shields are up, and that's why we're gonna use it up in front. And with Octazooka you can definitely debuff the opponent, and after you block the first move, perhaps the second one can easily be taken. At the back we have Altaria with Dragonair and no shadow at all on this team. Feel free to use a shadow if you want to, feel free to use other dragon types if you feel like you have to, but to be fair, I really like the composition as it is over here. But I can see something like a Hakamo, a Como, a Dragonite, or even an Arctibax work on this team instead of any of the other two Pokemon that I have at the back. So now with that said, let's see what we have going on here, because Altaria is ready to close this battle with the Sky Attack on the Gofagrigus after they get too cocky over here, and right after we can farm down the remaining HP that Lantern is having to secure the victory for the first battle of this video. Into the next one now, and we're having a Mantine up in front. You know what, this is looking pretty good, because they might get to the Ice Beam, but still we can one-shot them down with the Outrage. Instead we're gonna see the switch out to the Dunsparce, and because I want them to throw the Drillner on my flying type, I'm just gonna stall a little bit, but my opponent knows much better over here. So now they're gonna get to the Rock Slide for the second time, but hopefully we can start pressuring for a shield here to finish off that poor Dunsparce. Of course they're gonna block it. At this point we're gonna get hit by another Rock Slide, so they definitely need at least 3 more rollouts to reach to their next move, and we can take advantage of that with our Dragonair. So with Dragonair coming in, we can definitely tank one move while we still have some energy stored up on our Dragonair, and of course we have at least an outrage from our Kingdra for the end game. So who knows, the plan here is to grab that final shield of theirs with one more Aqua Tail, and perhaps that final Pokemon can get one-shotted down by a potential outrage. Here comes now Body Slam. They are not gonna take it, instead they will hold on it. Now we have the Octazooka to finish off the remaining HP of the Vigoroth on the CMP, and with Mantine remaining at the back, all we have to do is to reach to the Outrage for massive damage from our Kingdra to grab another victory for our line. Into the next one now, and we're having a Swampert up in front. This Pokemon is pretty much troublesome, okay, but this trainer decides to go for the early move. No matter what, I would let that first move go through, and as it seems now we're having the Dragonair on the switch, able to reach here to the Outrage. Perhaps they are thinking that I'm gonna go for the Octazooka, but it doesn't matter, they end up blocking no matter what, and after we block as well on the Mirror, we manage to farm down completely. I'm expecting Swampert to return, and at this point I'm just gonna go for the Body Slam to try and apply more pressure on their end. They're trying to go ahead and seal their Swampert, which is something I was not expecting at all. So now Altaria can definitely go in, completely farm down, but at the back they have Clodsire. This Pokemon is pretty troublesome if they have something like a Stone Edge, but to be fair they are not. And yeah, here comes now the Sky Attack for the first time, and we have almost one more ready to go before we go down. So this time the Sludge Bomb will not hurt at all, we can still survive the falling Poison Stings, and of course another Sky Attack is coming towards their way. Down they go, all we have to do here is to farm down, we're gonna farm down, and Swampert is just gonna stand no chance up against a triple dragon team. Into the next one now, and we're having a Lantern up in front. So this Pokemon is always troublesome, but at the point they reach the Thunderbolt you can easily catch on your Dragonair, because they definitely want to throw before you bait them with the Octazooka. So this is pretty easy to catch on your Pokemon, and at the same time with switching out to your Dragonair you can bait out the Ice type that your opponent is gonna have. And look at that, they have a Pokemon like this Abomasnow. They're gonna get one shot down with that outrage, and right after we can reach now to the Octazooka to start baiting for a shield. We can do that also applying the debuff on their end, and I believe that all we have to do here is to go ahead and completely farm down whatever remains as their third Pokemon. I'm not expecting a double ice, to be fair, with our Altaria at the back. So now they have a Gligar, and Gligar isn't looking that great against ice types but also against dragons. So as you can see here, all we have to do is to block whatever they throw, reach to a double sky attack, gonna throw one for the shield, one more for the knockout, and now all they have at the back is most probably gonna be a lantern. So yeah, the outcome has already been settled, but first they're gonna throw a last second move, which makes no sense at all. Altaria still is gonna get that victory with those Dragon Breaths. Into the next battle now, and we're having a lantern up in front once again. You know what, we're just gonna catch like always on the Dragonair. This is looking pretty good, especially if you have a regular Dragonair, which can take the hits much easier. Now my opponent is having a Dragonair of their own, and not before we go to that Body Slam we will feign down, so it doesn't matter at all. Now Altaria can return and we can tank pretty much whatever they throw at this point, but I decide to sacrifice one shield in the process because it seems like a clean sweep if they have no other big counter to my Dragon types. Here comes now Dragon Pulse. This is the first time that I'm gonna use it, and perhaps the only time that I'm using Dragon Pulse on my run with a triple Dragon team, and most probably Moonblast could have done more work, to be fair. So here comes now the switch on my Kingdra, trying to catch a Weather Ball because I was getting super low with my Altaria. We can catch it, and right after we can start baiting with a Octazooka. Even if they take the move, they're gonna be in a difficult position, especially after the debuff. That was a coin flip, but still they needed to apply a lot of pressure with all those energy points for the Hurricane, and Altaria can still emerge victorious on those battles. Into the next one, and we're having now Vigoroth up in front. This Pokemon is pretty troublesome, especially with its spamming moveset, but still we can kinda hold it down with our Octazooka here, especially we can apply the debuff. So here comes the move, they are gonna block it, and yes trainers, we can absolutely do that. Before we reach to another Octazooka, they're gonna get now to their Body Slam, which is just fine for us, and I was hoping I could farm down here with Altaria, but instead they're gonna throw their next move. To my surprise, it is the Rock Slide. Was not expecting that at all. I was counting at the moment, and I figured that they had only one Body Slam worth of energy, but instead they throw the Rock Slide. Perhaps I miscounted, and now at the back they have Arctibucks. Now I have to go for the Sky Attack before switching out because this is the CMP, and of course right after we can farm down with our Dragonair. It all depends now on what they might have at the back. They have a Dragonair of their own, but on Shadow mode, and this is looking kinda good for us for a moment, but then it hit me, Ganeto, you cannot farm down. Shadow Dragonair is just gonna do absolutely insane damage to your side. Into the final one now, and we're gonna take whatever we can here from that Deoxys, but because they're over farming I want to block the Thunderbolt. However, I'm just gonna call it that I can survive at least with a little bit of HP, and as it seems we can do exactly that. Outrage now on the shield, they are gonna block, this is just fine by me. Aiming for that shield advantage is the key here with Kingdra up in front, and now on the switch we're having our Dragonair, so they're gonna throw their Thunderbolt, and right after they have the Psycho Boost. In order to farm down and still have a decent amount of HP, we need to sacrifice a shield in the process, and hopefully here we can have the upper hand with all those Body Slams coming on their way. So it all depends on what they might have as their third Pokemon, but I can already assume that they do not have something like an Ice type as well, because they could throw it up against my Dragonair, and to be fair, this looking kinda good for my Altaria. With an Ice type out of the way, no fairies, no steals exist in the meta, we can have at least a neutral scenario for the closing part. So here comes now Leaky Tank, we can get to the Sky Attack for not big damage, but still kinda decent, and now Body Slam has to be appreciated on damage. It doesn't matter, all we have to do here is to expect the next 5 licks worth of energy and then switch out to our Dragonair. I was counting even the licks here and we can take that victory, as it seems, after that crazy catch on the Dragonair, and now Sky Attack is just gonna dominate around that licker, and yeah, that is gonna be the end of this video. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you already haven't, and I hope to see you all into the next one.